Nima, can you hear me? Nima, can you hear me? Because I'm adding to the stage soon. Hello? Can you see me? Nima, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. So we are live now. I don't know. Can you see me on the screen?
No, I can't see you, but I can hear you. I don't
Okay,
know if
I'm
you're saying
coming.
that.
All right. So let me see. Okay, yes. We are on the screen now.
No,
Let's wait for people to join.
no problem. You can hear me back.
Yes, I can hear you. So we need to wait few minutes for people to join. So let me put the this on the screen. You can see it there. All right, so we'll have to wait for people to join the session. So once they join, you can start like welcoming them into the. Let me see. Let me try sending the email again.
I received it.
But you got the email I sent
Mm,
just now, right? I do reply. There should be an easy way to duplicate this.
Can you tell me the options?
I'm still seeing only one from my screen here, except maybe it's a mistake. Let me see. I'm seeing just two people. Please, when you join, just write your name in the comment. I'm sure you should be able to make a comment, right? So once you join, just write your name in the comment, and I know that you are on this call. Nima, are you seeing the numbers on the screen?
Yeah, I can see still watching now.
Yes,
That is
exactly.
still
So we need more people to join. I don't know, wait a few minutes. But in the meantime, let me just send another email again. If they come, you can speak. So you just start the session. You welcome them.
okay. Three two people joined. So
or you can just send the YouTube link to people on WhatsApp, maybe those that you have their contact, so that they can join. Okay, I've sent the reminder. We have 4 people on the call right now. Once you join, please drop a comment. Drop a comment in the comment box so that I can. Please just write your name and where you're joining from, right? So we can get started. Okay. Good evening. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, please drop a comment. Leave a comment so I can know you can. Okay, we have Mahmoud on the call. Okay. All right. So, Nima, you haven't turned on your camera. Thank you. You can still stay on the call. While we are having people drop off, so we expect more people to join. We're going to probably wait till 5:10. Nima, can you still hear me? We'll probably wait till like 5:10 for others to join, and then we can kick things off properly. Let me search for the link. You guys can send the link to your friends so they can join as well. Kindly send the link to your friends so they can join today's session so that we can get started. If you're just joining, kindly drop your name and your school so that we'll know where you're joining from. Only one response so far, so we want others to your name and where you're joining from, or your name and your school, so we can identify you. We'll be kicking off in a few minutes when others join. All right, we have about 5 people on this call now. Please drop your name and okay, we have Abdul Salam. Hi Nima, I can hear your voice, Nima. Are you still on this call? Nima, are you on this call? Please reply. Turn on your camera so we can proceed. Welcome. I can see we have about 8 people, so we want a few more people to join. Please, you can remind your friends that have registered to check their email so they can get the link, right? And then we can proceed. We'll proceed in the next few minutes, maybe 2 more minutes. Let's wait for them 2 more minutes. Okay, so we have Mahmoud, we have Abdul Salam for BK. We have Open Christ TV. Give us your name and where you're joining from. We also have Olawumi. Welcome. Okay, yes, thank you so much. Hi, Samuel. Welcome. Please, your friends that registered, remind them to join the call. Nima, I've been finding you since.
I've been trying to speak. I forgot that I was mute.
All
Sorry.
right, so please, I think they can hear you now. So let's keep welcoming those that are just joined.
Okay.
Remind them to introduce themselves. And maybe in the next, I don't know, 2 more minutes, we're going to get started live. If we can have at least 10 to 15 people join the call so that we can start.
All right. You have tips now, so you're getting there. Hi, everyone. Oh, hi, Samuel. Hi, Salam from BT. Hi, allow me. Hi, Mahmoud. Okay, I can see BT representing. I can see OAU representing. Who is next? Who is up next? Let's see.
That's true. We have just 2 schools representing so far. We should have people from other schools now. If you're just joining, please make sure to
OAU, just
introduce
like
yourself.
OAU is going on with this webinar, webinar knowledge, because I can see 2 people representing. They are very punctual people.
I agree. So I think you guys can just remind your friends that registered, they should check their email and join. This session should have started by now, so I don't know why we haven't.
Okay, I can see people from my school,
Okay,
from my
well done.
alma mater.
Well,
Okay, I am welcome. Hi, good evening.
all right. So who's going to be the number 10 person, and then we can start, right? Yeah, let's count down. Let's see how many minutes it will take the 10th person to join. Ima, kindly proceed. Right. Let me see. All right. Just kindly proceed, Nima. Let's get
Hi,
started. Let's not
everyone.
wait people.
Okay, then. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing well today. So you're welcome to your future, your finance beyond the classroom and balancing your books and bags as a student. This webinar is just something, even though it is free, you're going to be getting quality knowledge, the type that you would actually know how many thousands will be leaving your pocket before you get this kind of knowledge. So we encourage you to please listen, make sure that you do the pre-test and post-test because it's just a way of us testing the knowledge and seeing that okay, you actually understand what was taught in the old session and that we didn't waste your time and neither did you waste our time. So I just want to encourage you all to participate actively in this session. And if you have any question or thoughts, let us know. Thank you. So yeah, I'm going to go straight
All right, Nima.
to telling you about.
Thank you so much
Hi,
for the introduction. Did you introduce yourself very right?
now first of all, to that. Okay, so I'm Nima Rahim. I am a first class graduate of accounting from UCC University Ibadan, where I held different leadership positions and even up to the national level. So today, with my ACN view, I'm committed to empowering students and the society through financial literacy and clarity. I'm the programs manager and student community coordinator of Money Saturday After, an alternative school for learning about money. So through engaging workshops, financial training, and continued internship, I have continued to grow in the financial industry. I collaborated with student leaders from over 20 universities across Nigeria, and I am open to work experience, partnership, and collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nima. You were the one that actually sent out this link and form. You're the one that prepared this event. So thank you so much for putting it together. So I've shared the link to our pre-test. I hope you guys can copy and paste it to your browser, right? So that is our pre-test. It's a very short question, just about 6 questions. Thank you so much. I already see some people already filling the form, right? So it's a short pre-test just to see what do we know so far about our finances, because we're actually going to be working through these topics, right? So I want you to fill the form in advance so that we can look at it, we can see what are some things that you want to do. I've had 2 people have responded so far. So please, if you can, I don't know, if you can copy it through the screen, if you can scan the QR code, good and fine. If you can't, use the link on the comment section, right? So I want to get at least 5 people fill this form while we're on this call right now. I'm sure when people join, right? So Nima, please, in between, just be reminding them to fill. You just be dropping it in the comments so that people that join, we fill the test, right? Yep, so that at least that's to test our basic knowledge to see what do we think about our finances, right? All right, so now let's proceed. Please remind your colleagues to join this call. We spend so much time together and we want them to benefit from this session. All right, so while we're having this session today, we're talking about your future, your finances, right? 2 things. We're in school because of our future. And then we are in school because of our finances, or let's say our future has a lot to do with our finances, right? So everybody is thinking about these 2 major things: my future, my finances. You want it to be aligned. And that is why we're having this session today. What can you start doing right now from school? Because this wasn't something that I learned when I was in school. I didn't have a conversation like this or a session like this. Even though I was an accounting student, right? Everything was just about the regular accounting, not how I can use it in my life. So that is why we're having this session to empower all of our students and ensure that you guys are 10 steps ahead, right? So now I'm going to start by saying this thing. A degree alone doesn't guarantee success. It doesn't. Because if you have we have so many people that are graduate, let's say first class, second class, they are still looking for a job, whatever, right? It's not easy. There's a lot of things. So you doing, it's not that you just tell them, oh, I'm a graduate, they'll give you a job. No, you pass through interviews, you do tests, you will do so many things that you do before they now say, okay, we'll give you a job. They will not give you the job finish. Even maybe the salary is nothing to write home about, right? It takes a long while, right? So at the end of the day, why do you want to work? Because of your future, because you want to be able to afford your needs, right? Pay for your needs, everything that you want. You have goals that you want to achieve, right? So a degree alone doesn't guarantee success. So while pursuing the degree, what are some things that you can start doing now to that will help you increase your chances of succeeding at whatever it is that you want to do, right now? Okay, good. I've had about 6 people fill the form. Once your colleagues join, please tell them to fill the form as well, right? Thank you so much. So are you guys with me? Please use the comment section, right? This is one-ended. I can't really tell if you guys are following very well, except you drop comments, right? So in between, just be dropping comments. If you have questions, you drop it. If you can't hear, you let us know as soon as possible, right? Please use the chat box very well. So for those that do not know me, but I believe most of you, do you know me? Like, is this your first time seeing me? Let me know. Is this your first time seeing me? I want a yes or a no. Or let me know. Do you guys know me? Do I have to introduce myself? I'm waiting for your comments, so please drop it. So while you guys are responding, let me just do a very short introduction again. My name is Afsat, but my community members like to call me Money Woman, right? They picked the name from the brand name Money Chat with Afsat, and that's how we became Money Woman, right? So I'm an accounting graduate from Bayero University. I have BUK students here represented on this call. I did my BSc there, right? So I'm also a chartered accountant. I started work right when I was in like level 2. That was when I started that journey to becoming a chartered accountant. I'm going to tell you why later, right? I'm also a certified financial education instructor under the National Financial Education Council in the United States. So I'm also the founder of Money Chat with Afsat Consulting. Now you might be wondering, why did I choose to do a consulting firm about personal finance? It's because I was struggling with money. I was struggling with money. I have so many goals, but I didn't know how to bring it to life, right? So I was struggling with my money, and I started applying my knowledge to making things work for me. Like, I had limited resources, and I was like, you know what, I must find a way to make it work. So while doing that, I noticed that, wait, a lot of people are having the same problem. Let me just share my knowledge online, right? And so that was how I started sharing my knowledge on LinkedIn. And before you know, we had Money Chat with Afsat. It came to life. So far, we have a community of over 80,000 on social media. I've trained students from at least 20 universities across Nigeria. I've even trained students Ghanaian students, Morocco students in Morocco as well, right? So, but as of last year, I trained quite a number of students, and I did a lot of collaboration with students. So this one is not usually is your representative that will invite me, but this time around I said I want to do a general one, so students from any school can join, right? So I hope you enjoyed this session. I'm having Ariana, welcome. All right, so I'm so happy to have you all here today. So let's kick. Very important. As students, nobody tells you what you want to do, what to do, how to align your whatever you're doing to your future, right? This is not something a lot of us are being told, right? So, and me too, I used to be a student with a vague dream and little income. If I didn't even know what I was doing, I thought that I was just to, is it not to study? I thought that's, sorry guys. Can you guys still hear me? Nima, can you hear me? Okay, Nima is not on the call. I'm going to proceed. So I used to be a student too with a vague dream and little income, right? And because of that, what I was doing was I was just reading. I was spending money without even minding where it came from. And I was very clueless about my career. I didn't know what I want at all, right? Till I had to sit down and ask myself and realize that, what can I do differently, right? Give me a minute, please. So I had to sit down and reflect and be like, especially I remember that was like level 2 thereabout. As the result was even beginning to do somehow. Like I lacked a bit of motivation, right? And then one day I was like, wait, you're reading accounting. What would you even like to become? And I was like, you know what? I think I would like to be the accountant general of the federation, right? So I was like, okay, if I want to be this person, what is this person going to what is this person, what are the skills that this person is going to have, what will make me become nominated in the future, for instance, right? I have to be somebody that of value, right? At least I have to graduate with a very good grade. So that was my best motivation. I was like, okay, I said you have to be very, very serious. No matter what, you have to graduate with a 2-1. I also asked myself, okay, if you want to become a kind of general, what certifications or skills do you need, right? I was like, okay, I'll need ICANN, right? I need to start taking my ICANN very seriously. I will need leadership experience. So you see, because of that picture that I could see, right? I was now able to, what are they calling it? I was now able to start breaking things down and create a roadmap for myself. So if you don't have something that you're looking at or you're aiming for, it's very difficult for you to stay motivated or for you to work towards your goals, right? I hope we're still together. If you've not filled the form, fill the form. Please give me a minute. Nima, kindly resume. Just give me a minute, right? Nima, please proceed.
Hi. Hi, sir. What do you want me to do?
All right, guys. So let's continue, right? So because of that motivation, what I could picture, I started to become serious. Like I could see my future, right? I started aligning everything that I was doing to match with my future and also my finances. I'm like, what can I start doing to increase my finances? Nima, I need you to remind people to keep filling the form, right? So give me a minute while I go do something quickly. Hi guys, sorry I had to go open the door because I had someone coming, right? So let's proceed, please. All right, so you too, as a student, you need to be able to picture what you want, right? So that you can start planning towards it, right? And one thing that schools don't teach you is they don't teach you, you don't have classes on career clarity. I don't know, maybe now they do that, but previously, nobody sat me down and asked me, okay, if you read accounting, these are 10 options, 10 career options, right? Nobody taught me that. Nobody told me that. They also don't teach you how to use your finances. Or let's say you have goals as a student. How can you manage your money to start doing something? Maybe learn a skill, maybe take a training, right? They did not tell us that. I don't know if they told you guys that, but they didn't tell me that. They didn't talk about goal setting. They didn't talk about income generation or financial discipline, right? So this is something that school doesn't teach you. And it matters a lot because it affects your future. And you need to start looking at what are the decisions that you can take now to help you improve your finances. And that's part of the reason I say when Chartered Afsa is an alternative school for teaching about money, because what they don't teach you there is what we are going to be learning right now. I hope we're all together. I can see people joining. As you join, please fill our pre-test before we get into business, right? Make sure you fill the form so that we can test your current financial knowledge. So I have a very quick question for you guys. So you can see I made reference to the fact that I was picturing myself as accountant general, right? So what about you? Have you ever like thought of picturing yourself, and what did you picture yourself as, right? So where do you see yourself 10 years from now? This might look like a vague question or interview kind of question, but yes, I'm asking you right now, and I want you to drop, please, I need people to drop it in the comment, right? So that we can proceed. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Nobody's responding. Oh, I need comments. I'm sure you guys can hear me. We need to make this very engaging. So please drop your response in the comments so that we can proceed. I need at least one response. You guys should make this snappy. You're taking time, right? So I have people on this call, oh, and I'm not seeing your response. Welcome, Zainab. Welcome, Adesanya. I think BUK people are the one that are representing here. So I also need these same BUK people to answer the question that is currently on the screen. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? If you guys did not answer, it's like we'll not continue this session now. Adesanya, we're excited to have you here as well. We have more people on this call, and I've asked a very simple question and I've not gotten any reply. So, what is happening? I need you guys to respond. If you do not respond, then I'm assuming you people are not on this call. Thank you so much, Adesanya, for your response, because it looks like I was talking to myself all along. You people are not responding. If you're not responding, it's not going to make this session engaging. So please, if you're here, participate. If you cannot participate, it's best for you to not be on the call, right? So I took time to prepare all of this slide to benefit you. So I will want you to interact as much as possible. So you say you want to become a neurosurgeon. So that is it now, right? You're studying it. I think that's like the profession, right? So 10 years from now, do you see yourself being, I don't know how the ranking is, or maybe a middle level neurosurgeon or a neurosurgeon working in certain country, or a neurosurgeon working in certain company, right? You see that you can visualize it better, right? So when I say I want to be accountant general, it means I pictured myself in a federal responsibility or federal role that is going to be in Abuja, right? I already know the office. The office is in Abuja. You can see that I pictured it, I framed it better, right? But when you say you want to become a neurosurgeon, it's just like me saying I want to be an accountant. But definitely the course that you're reading, that is what you're going to be. So you want to picture something more, right? So thank you so much for that response. Does anybody else want to share theirs with us? At least one more person. All right, I see you guys are filling the pre-test form. Thank you very much. Well done. Somebody else should reply now. You should answer this question. I don't know what's happening. All right, so let's proceed. So for instance, right? You've been able to you already gave me an answer, but it's very important for you to still drill it down, right? You might want to ask questions like, okay, so as a neurosurgeon, where could you end up? You want to identify that, right? What kind of is the hospital you want to work at, or organization you want to work at, right? Where you want to be. You've answered that one. What skills you need to build. So apart from your BSc or your training they are giving you in school, a typical neurosurgeon, what are the extra talent or skills that they must possess? This is something that you want to be asking yourself, right? So you want to think about that also. And then when you identify some of these things that you might need, the question is, how do you fund it, right? So that is why we're talking about not just our future, but also our finances. Okay, I'm getting another response now. Now, this is not a answer. This is not a answer, Adekule Samuel. I'm going to correct you here. Now, if you ask everybody on this call if they want to be rich, they will tell you yes. But that is not a career. That is not a role. That is not a person. Okay, for instance, now, Dangote will not say, I want to be rich. Or even if you say he wants to be rich, you say, I want to be a businessman that has like 3 businesses, because those businesses is what is going to make him rich. It's not the rich that will make him have the business. I don't know if you get my point. So a lot of people do not understand that something has to happen before money will come. It's not like money will come before something will happen. So the end goal is you want to be wealthy. What must you become before you become wealthy? Who must you become before you become wealthy? That is the question I'm asking you, or telling you to ask yourself. That is the question you must answer, right? Now let's look at Rihanna's own. Exactly. Now you see you're answering the question better. In a reputable law firm, if you like, say if you can even, I think there's this popular, is it Temple or something? If it's that kind of firm you want, or you can say, oh, big firm, you want to be in the legal department of one of the big 4, right? You see, now you can, you know that, because if you are working in that reputable firm, you know they will pay you well, so you are wealthy. So you see, It's who you need to become, because you're studying now, you're trying to become a lawyer, right? At the end of it, so that is how it works, right? Thank you so much for answering that question for me, Rihanna. All right, I'm getting another response here. Say in Canada or UK, working one of the big tech companies. As a, you see, this is what I want to see. This is it. Ayobami Adetunji, I can see that you were waiting for me to be explaining very well so that you can answer the question very well. Thank you so much for this response. Very clean and very, and it's okay for you to dream very big, even though right now you think it's not possible. But that's the point of it now. It's a goal. Take 2 years from now it will not happen, but 10 years from now it can happen. So many things can happen in 10 years, right? That is what you want to look at. So I love this response. You say in Canada or UK, working in one of the big tech companies as a, even the role as a senior customer. Please tell me, if you are in this capacity, won't they pay you well? They will. If you're in this capacity, won't you be able to do the things that you want to do, travel? You will, right? That is the idea. So that wealth you're looking for, you have to become somebody that attracts the wealth. So I hope we are together. Thank you so much for engaging. Now the class is giving me the vibe that I want, right? So, and this is why it's very important. Some of the things schools will not tell us about is questions like this, right? And it's important for you to do that because you set goals. So even though it may sound childish, it is a goal. So for instance, when I say, oh, I would like to become accountant general, I meant it, or it made me become very, very serious. I'm not an accountant general right now, but did I graduate with 2-1? Yes. Did I become a chartered accountant? Yes. Did I start a community? Yes. Am I impacting knowledge? Yes. So it's like when you aim for the moon, you land on the sky. Abi, how do they used to say it? So that's why you need to have a goal, because it becomes that, like, you can see somewhere. Like you can see somewhere that you're trying to go to, right? It becomes easier for you to just keep going, right? So it's the best way to get what you want is to make a plan to achieve it. So I'm going to make an example now of how can we break this down. But most importantly, why do you set it? Okay, yeah, I'm checking the chat box. Yes, Rihanna, I've seen your response. Thank you so much. So you say goals are set with intention to act towards achieving a defined outcome. Why are we setting goals? Because when you set goals, you've defined it. You also be forced to make a plan. But if it is just in your head, if it is wishes, you will not work toward it. I can just say, I wish to become a big tech, to become a senior customer support expert in a big tech. It's a wish. You probably just think about it, and did you do anything about it? No. When you start to do something about it, it now becomes a defined goal, right? You probably write it down somewhere. You remind yourself, okay, this person, what skills must they have? What certificate must they have? You identify them, you start doing it. Because if you want to become that person that gets that job, you must have the skill that the person must possess. You're right. So that is why it's important for us to set goals, because it means we have now start acting with intention to make it happen, right? So let me give us an example of how to plan for our future very well, right? So for instance, let's say my goal is to become the chief human resource officer of a multinational, right? That is where I imagine myself in the next 7 years or 10 years. That is the destination. That is where I want to go to. So the next thing is, this is the vision. What are the goals you put in place, right? You break each vision, you break it down to components, like goal, right? This is the vision. This thing must happen. This one must happen. That one must happen. Something like that, right? So the next goal will be, first you need to become. So for instance, let me see your name again, Ayobami. So Ayobami that say he wants to be a senior customer support officer, right? That is this, like a medium term plan. At the end of the day, you get something like that, right? So that becomes like the long-term destination. You now have it into a goal, and then after a goal, you want to have a plan. What is the first plan? So for me, for instance, the vision there, like I mentioned earlier, was, let's say, to become accountant general. That is the destination. What is the plan? The plan is to have my ICANN, have my MBA, or even PhD, right? And then what that's the goal, sorry, to have my ICANN, to and then when I break it down, to at least start in a get a financial reporting role. That would be like the first thing that I need to do. Now we can still break it down because we need to bring it to short term. The end goal is like 10 years from now. Let's talk about 6 months from now. Let's talk about 1 year from now, because that is how you'll be doing is year one, year two, year three, year four that will compound till you reach year 10. So don't say because it's year 10, you will not do anything. No, there is something that you can start doing now, right? So for me, for instance, when I was a student, the simplest thing that I can do was to first of all start my ICANN to make sure I graduate with a good grade, to also do leadership activities so that I can start building my public speaking skills and stuff. So you see, the goal is like 10 years from now, but there were things that I can start doing from now that I started doing, right? So for instance, now when we break it down, what I like I mentioned, you want to graduate to upper second class upper, you want to get certified role, right? You've identified it. Now let's bring it into a plan now. So let's say, for instance, I want to, what are some of the things that I can do in the first year to achieve that my long-term goal? Within my first year, for instance, like I mentioned earlier, the reference I made, so I became a student leader. For instance, I was a senator in my level one, treasurer in my level two, I was social directress, I was the vice president of accounting students in my school again in my level four, right? I did so many things to get that leadership experience that I wanted, right? Okay, I did do internship. Okay, I did a bit of internship, unpaid internship too, right? A bit of some Excel training. So you need to be able to identify what are the things that you can start doing now. Because if you want to get that good job, you need to be very skilled, right? And then if there's an exam certifications that you need to do, ask yourself, what can I start doing now so that you can start doing it, right? So you see that this is how to plan your future. It's not just about graduating. It's not just about being in the university, right? It's beyond that. I hope we are still together. So now, the thing about these goals is not all of them are non-financial. There are quite a number of these goals that require money. So for instance, some of my immediate goals, like writing my ICANN, required money, right? It required money. Maybe there's a training that I want to do, it requires money. Maybe you need a laptop right now, it requires money. So some of these goals, so yeah, exactly. So some of these goals might require money. So it's important for you to identify the one that doesn't have money and the one that doesn't require money and the one that require money. Although the strategy is still the same thing, but that is part of the way you can start bringing things to life, right? So, and that is where you need to have a financial system to bring your goals to life. So, so what are the things that must start with you have? You must live within your means. You need to invest in your personal development. You need to start thinking of ways to make more money, because the more money you earn, the more things you can do, right? And also, how can you embrace each in my slides here? You guys will manage this slide like that, right? So this is me just trying to share some things that I did while doing my master's. So imagine what is the focus when doing a master's? It's not just to graduate, but I did beyond that, despite being a student, because I'm doing the master's for my future. There are other things I should also be able to do to plan my future well, right? Financially and non-financially, that I can do. So some of the things that I did was, for instance, I joined an ALX Founder Academy, and it was in this academy solution on a financial management app that I called Finverse, right? I also did my CFA level one while doing my master's. I also did my advanced financial modeling examination. The average person will just go to school and finish with one degree. I did so many things, right? I also joined another academy to refine my product. I did to become a certified financial while doing my content creation for MoneyChat, running the business, and I also still did a 6-month internship. All these are important for my future and also my finances. So I found a way to merge them together. So despite being a student, or despite the fact that you're a full-time student, there are so many things that you can still do that will help your future, that will help your finances. I started my ICANN in my level 2 because it's important for my future. I was doing a student leadership engagement because it was important for my future. I was doing it while being a student. So studying is not your only goal. That is not the way. If you want to become wealthy in the future, it's not just to study, right? There are so many things that you need to start doing financially and non financially to give you 10 times head start, right? So I hope we're still together. So the most important thing that we're going to be learning today again is that you can always start with what you have. You need to learn about money so that you can manage your scarce resources. Your income is not much as a student, and that is why it's extremely important for you to learn how to use it. You also need to know how to save and then build an income generation pathway. If there is no income pathway, how will you become wealthy? It's not possible, right? So how will you get the future that you want? It's not possible, right? So these are important things that you must start embracing as a student. I hope we're still together. Nima, are you still on this call with us? Please share the pre-test link so that people can fill the link. Yeah. So I said for some of our goals, some are financial, some are non-financial. Now, for the financial, right, I want us to ask ourselves, how can we make sure that these goals that we are setting are realistic? So let's say, for instance, you need a laptop because you want to start doing some online courses, or because you want to start, or you want to do an internship, right? So the first thing you need to ask yourself is, how much is it going to cost you to get it? Or sometimes your parents they will support you, or your siblings will support you if you have something. So that's something that you must have. You need to ask yourself, how long will it take you to gather your part payment, your contribution, right? So a way to do this is to quantify your goals using the SMART framework. SMART means it must be specific. You need to identify how much you want. For instance, let's say 300,000 to purchase a laptop, right? How will you measure the achievement of that 300,000? By saving, let's say, 25,000 every month, or by saving 5,000 or 10,000. Is it achievable? You need to ask yourself your allowance. Can you remove 25,000 from your monthly income? That is a question that you need to ask yourself. We're going to learn this as we progress. We're going to talk about budgeting, investing, savings. So make sure you stay on this call. It might be a bit longer than 1 hour, maybe 1 hour, 30 minutes. So please make sure you stay till the end of the session to get value for your time here. Also, is the goal relevant? If you need it for an internship, is irrelevant. If you need it to learn a course, is relevant. If you need it for your program, it is relevant. So you need to. Why am I saying this? Because sometimes we set goals because that's what our friend is doing, not because it is relevant for us of our future, right? Also, time bound. If, for instance, you cannot save 25,000, you need to reduce it to 10,000. It means you need to extend the time. So you need to be realistic. Is it 10 months you need to achieve this goal, or is it 15 months that it is practical for you? Because sometimes you see a lot of people set goals that they want to achieve in 2026. And when we break down that goal, we realize that it is not achievable in 2026. It has to extend to 2027. So you need to be very realistic so that at the end of the year, you'll not be feeling depressed when people are celebrating. You say, oh, you didn't achieve your goal, right? So make sure your goal is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and also time bound. I hope we are still together on this call. I think we've gotten to like the middle, right? So what you should avoid is, don't make a vague goal. Don't say I want to be rich. Like I think somebody said this earlier. Don't just say you want to be rich. Make a plan, be specific. Make sure you track, don't ignore your expenses, and don't give up too soon, right? It's very, see, for instance, inflation now can affect your budget and all of that, right? So you need to understand to if something happen, adjust. Now, as a student, there are things that you should consider when setting your goals. So, for instance, the reason I did all of those things in my during my masters is not because I was not going to class. So I was going to class, but there was a way I managed my time, or a way I plan it. So, for instance, my CFA exam, I did it during summer. During my first summer break, me, I did not do internship. My colleagues were doing internship, they were making money. Me, I was reading for exam. I had to forfeit the money. So you see, I had to plan myself. I know when I can do this, when I can do that one. What can I join? What can I not join? Right? So when you're setting goals, you need to look at ability and availability. So for instance, if I have a or third class, there is no way I will say I want to start my ICAD. It's impossible. It would be stupid of me to say I have a bad result and I want to start a professional examination. Which ed will it enter? So know what to prioritize, right? If you have a bad grade, forget writing any professional examination now. What you need is to graduate with a strong 2-1. Why is it important? Because the way you can fight in the labor market is by having a very good result, right? So that is minimum. Even people who get first class, they never get job, not talk of you, right? So this is why you need to prioritize. So look at ability and availability, the timing, right? The second thing as a student, you should always look out is for financing options. So there's what I call the money, their money, your money. Whenever you want to finance your goals, it is your first source of income is their money. For instance, my dad sponsored my ICANN. Your dad, your mom will sponsor one of your goals for you, right? So is there a way you can sell the idea to them so that they can finance it for you, because you cannot afford everything, right? But it is important. So they need to see it's important. So for instance, when I had a first class in my level 1 and I say, oh, I want to start my exam, it's easy for daddy to say, okay, good, because you see that I am capable. But if you're not capable, they will not sponsor it, right? The second one is your money. I had colleagues that they used to run a cafe business. That is what he was using to finance his goal, right? So sometimes you might need to take on an extra job or an extra gig to fund some of your goals, or their money. Scholarship is their money. Grant is their money. My master's was a fully sponsored scholarship, right? Some people did their ICANN fully sponsored. So imagine graduating with a first class. ICANN will be able to sponsor you, right? So find a way to plan that thing very well. If I did not get the money from here or here, I should be able to get it from here. My CFA was scholarship too, right? Those are some of the ways. Another thing is trade-off. Delayed gratification. There are instances where you need to sacrifice a lot for tomorrow, right? I'm not saying you should not spend money or whatever, but there are instances whereby you will not go to party, you will not buy shoe, you will not do this, you will not do that one, so that you can pay for the things that are extremely important for you, right? So I hope we're still together so that I can proceed. Please, I want you guys to be dropping comments in between so that I know. Now let's move on to the fundamentals. Now, how can we start bringing these goals to life, right? Let's talk about the money part, right? I've talked about the non-monetary part. I've talked about our future. I've emphasized it. Let's talk about our finances now. As students, your income is not much. So the first thing you must always learn to do is, how can I maximize what I currently have? Even if it's 5,000, how can I maximize 5,000? It may sound like a joke, but 500 out of 5,000 is a big deal. It is a big deal for you, right? Little drops makes an ocean. And that is why budgeting is very important. Because when you budget, you'll be able to see, can I keep 1,000 or 10,000 or 50,000, right? Everybody, our income is different. That's why I'm using some small figure to make the example. So budgeting helps you plan your income, and no matter how, it will help you to allocate for your goal. Your goal is important. You cannot wait till you graduate before you start and doing the things that you want to do. You need to start now. Imagine if I started saving when I was a student. There are so many things I think I would have done, but I was eating all my money then, right? So you have the chance to do that early. So I have what they call a goal-based budgeting or a need-based budgeting. A goal-based budgeting means you are prioritizing your goal every month. So let's say you have 25,000 and you have a goal to save 5,000 every month. When you do a budget, that 5,000 must be number one. So that once your money come like this, you are saving it immediately, right? And then you spend the rest. But a need-based budgeting is more applicable for your students because, first of all, your money is not much, right? Your money is not much. And you have a lot of needs. For instance, you need to pay for data, you need to pay for your handout, you need to pay for your food, you need to pay for your transport. So all the need, you first identify it. Then what is remaining? You now split it between your goal and what you want to use and do obly, right? So it is okay if you don't have a lot of responsibility, you can do a goal-based budgeting. But if you have a lot of responsibility, you do a need-based budgeting. And immediately after your need, you try to make provision for your goal before your wants. I hope that is very, very clear. Thank you so much. I can see you guys comment. Yes. Let's keep going. Management is a way you can stay within your budget. For instance, you budget that this is how you spend your money. You are not spending it this way. You say you do 10,000 for transportation, you now spend 15,000. You need to go and look at it. Oh, why did you spend 50,000? Because the moment your transportation increases, your goal is reducing, right? Instead of you to achieve your goal within 10 months, to become 12 months because of your transportation cost. So you need to go and see, what can I reduce? Is it this party that I'm going every month? Is it a way I can be going to party once in 3 months? So for instance, I like going to the cinema. So at some point, I used to go to the cinema every quarter, once a quarter. I cannot be going every month. So I'll wait January, February, March. I will suffer in January, suffer in February. Then in March ending, I will now go to the cinema once. So you see, that is delayed gratification. That is expense management, because I know that I cannot afford to be going every time. So if I manage my expenses very well, I will only go once in every quarter, right? This is why it's also important for you to know what is your needs and what is your want. Needs are essential. Wants are what you want, like what you desire, what are not essential. Need, you must eat it. For instance, food, you need water, you need transportation, you need data, not excessive data, not the data that you spend on TikTok. Data that you use for YouTube to learn a skill is what you need, right? Why is it also important? Because there are a lot of factors that is influencing our spending: peer pressure, advertisement, social media, expectations. These are the reason why your want will now be becoming very high, right? So I do not want that for you. If your want is too high, if it is uncontrollable, you will not achieve anything. You keep saying your money is not enough. Despite the fact that your money is not enough, you can do so many things. I achieve my goals with my limited income. That is what I do, right? I make the most of my never enough. Your money is never going to be enough. Even if they give you 1 million today, it will not be enough, because your wants are insatiable, right? So you must manage it. Don't buy that expensive wig or expensive clothes because your friend bought it. Make sure it is within your budget, and make sure your goal is number one on your, like me, my goal is always number one. My goals, that's how I do, especially investing in education, investing in personal development. I do not joke with it. If I don't invest in my education, I will not be right here teaching you guys right now, right? So I invested in it, and that's what made me qualified enough to be able to sit down right now and be having these conversations with you. So moving on, we have savings. So if you budget well and you control your expenses, you'll be able to save, right? Now, there are different kinds of saving. Maybe your short-term savings or your long-term savings. As a student, you don't need long-term saving. Anything long-term now, you don't need it. What you need are short-term, for your short-term goals, because you want to convert your money into an asset. And when I mean assets, not shares, oh, I mean in you. You want to convert your money from money into data analysis, into tailoring, into baking, into content writing. You want to convert it into a skill. So you always save, because the money is not enough. So you save till it is enough, right? Then you convert it into an asset, into an investment in yourself, right? And so your short-term goals, savings is very important, and also emergency. So instead of emergency, we can also call it buffer savings. As a student, your emergency is not like an adult or a working class emergency. If allowed to say, frame it that way. So for instance, a working class or a family person, their emergency is going to be in thousands or hundreds or even millions. But for you as a student, your emergency might be maybe your phone screen guard, or your laptop, or your gas, right? You see, your emergency is not very significant, right? So it is like a buffer. So you want to set aside small. So let's say you want to be saving 5,000 every month. 1,000 should be for emergency, 4,000 should be for your goals. Why am I saying this? Because if anything happened to you, what you will do is you go and touch your goal. Now, instead of you to achieve your goal in 10 months, it will become 12 months. But if you have an emergency fund, if anything happened, you will touch that one first. It's only in worst case scenario you will not touch your goal. So that is the way I plan my money, that no matter what, nothing happens to the money that I'm saving for my goal. If there's an emergency, I use emergency fund, right? So that is, for instance, I remember one time during my masters, they didn't pay us stipend, because there's a way they did the calculation. There was going to be at least 2 months where you will not receive money. What helped me was my emergency fund. If I didn't have that emergency fund, I would have used money for my CFA exam, because the CFA is like discounted scholarship, I still needed to add more money. I would have used that money and I will not be able to write the exam in that window. But because I had an emergency fund, I was able to proceed with my examination, right? So this is why you need to be very smart with your money. You must also always set aside something to achieve your goals. I hope I'm not moving too fast. I hope I'm not moving. Okay, guys, I think you guys can respond again. Okay, I saw somebody still did a yes a few minutes ago. Thank you so much. We are together. Actually, we've covered a lot, safe. Remain very small. So don't worry, we are almost we won't finish before maybe 5:15. We should be done, right? So stay 6:15, I mean. So now saving should not be Ayo is saving 50,000. Me, I'm saving 5,000. There's nothing that I can achieve. But you and Ayo are not the same person. Your income is not the same thing. So why are you comparing yourself with that person, right? So saving depends on your income capacity, your needs, your goals, and your level of discipline. The same way finger is not equal is the same way we people, as people, we are not equal, right? It might take me 2 months to achieve the goal that, let's say me and you want to write the same exam. I might finish before you because I could afford it easy. Doesn't mean you shouldn't do your own, right? So when you are saving, save according to your income, save according to your capacity. It's not a competition, right? So on a minimum, you want to save at least 10%. But if you can do above that, do it. The most important thing is that you're doing something, not the one that you say, I cannot afford it, so you will not do anything. Or this person can afford more than me, so you don't do anything, right? So don't just copy somebody and somebody is saving 5,000. Yeah, it's too small. No. You save according to your capacity, according to your needs, according to your goals and your levels. I create my own, right? And when planning for, let's say, our future and even our finances, a lot of people feel like, okay, you know what, I just want to start building wealth now. Like you're a student and you think you want to, your wealth building journey doesn't start from school. It's right now, your journey is not to build wealth as a student. Your journey is to be stable. Your journey is to increase your income. Your journey is to be upskilled, right? And so many things. It's not wealth. Wealth is like a final, it's like a final, what happens before that destination, right? So usually when you're setting goals, there's like a cycle, right? You want to be, you can pay off your day about trying to build wealth. So don't just go from, oh, I'm a student, I want to start building wealth. That is not how it works, right? There are so many things, the cycle, there are so many things that needs to happen before you can get to where you want to go to, right? And also another thing with being a student or being somebody that has this future that they want to get to, there are some risks that you probably take, right? And this risk, they are very good payoff, right? There are some smart risk that will give you a very good result. So you need to understand what needs to be done to achieve your goal. If you don't understand what needs to be done, you will not do anything. So know what needs to be done, know the sacrifices that needs to be done. So for instances, I did not do ICANN because I feel like doing ICANN. It is a very difficult exam. It is a very difficult and expensive exam. But it is a risk that must be done for me to get to where I want to do. So I find a way to combine it with my course, right? That is a smart risk. Sometimes you tell yourself that you want to serve in your state instead of serving in another state that has another opportunity. It's a risk that needs to be taken. You take it. If you go to that location, what is the chances that you get a better offer, a good job? So there are some risks that you need to take. Some internship, they'll tell you they will not give you money, but you need the experience. It's a risk that you will take. So like I said, for instance, I forfeited internship for exam. It's a risk. I will choose, is it money that is important now, or is it this course that is important? Even though the course will not give me money now, but it will give me money later. Those are some very smart risks. So when you know where you are going to, you identify the costs that you must incur to get there, and then you take the risk to get there, right? So for instance, doing an internship, learning high value skill, taking certifications, working on personal projects. For instance, Money Chat with Outside is a personal project. I started this part of my journey during peak season in my workplace. Like it was audit period, we're very busy. But anytime I come back home, I will still write content because I told myself, as they use me, myself, I won't use myself. That was what I told myself. I wanted that. And before you know, I started my personal project. Did I know that the personal project will be this? No, but look at where the personal project is, right? So there's some smart risk you need to take to achieve big results, right? So start identify when you think critically, you will identify it. So now, beyond budgeting, beyond savings, beyond goal setting, another thing that will help you achieve your goals is by making more money or making money as a student. When I was a student, I did not embrace entrepreneurship. I used to be like, I can never do business. Is it not me that is not doing business? Like, it's so ridiculous, right? Some things that we think we cannot do. But seriously, student is like being a student means like being allowed to make as much make mistake, just be making it. So explore things. If you don't explore your hobby, how will you know what you like? How will you know what you do not like? Because you're afraid of public speaking doesn't mean you should not join accounting student association or law student association. Join it and learn. If they laugh you, they should laugh because you need that skill. Let them laugh now, right? So you need to do a lot of things that will help you generate more income, right? If you want to practice, if you want to try entrepreneurship, try it. Map out your professional path, identify things that you need to start doing, courses that you can start taking, skills that you can start getting, right? Tools that you can become good at. AI, for instance, is now a thing, right? Explore your interests. Okay, one of the interests I know I explored was like baking. I love the idea of cake. I explored it. You too, you might want to explore. Is it crochet? I remember I used to do crochet before, right? You can do it. So many things. You don't know what will make you money. Some people are professional crocheters. Some people sell bead, all this bead bag. That is what they sell. They are making money. Oh. Vicky James, for instance, she's a fashion designer. It's not from tailoring to become fashion designing. You don't know, maybe that's where the secret to your wealth is. Because you are doing a research, or you're in medicine, doesn't mean that you might not become a basketballer, right? Practice all of these things so that you can discover what will make you make what you can use to make more money. It could be either a side hustle or a main hustle. Sometimes a lot of us even we finish 9 to 5 and then we're not gonna do something that relates with our hobby. If you don't explore it now, you will not know what you like, right? So these are some of the things that you can explore. Be open to tech and focus on value, not money. It's value that will bring money. If you focus on money, money will not come. Oh. You focus on value, because focus on becoming a person of value. You look for problems, you solve it, people pay for the solution. That is what happens. It's not like you want money, give me money. They will not give you. What problem are you solving? What value are you offering? What are you bringing to the table, right? That's what they will say. Even your employer, why should they choose you instead of the other person? It's because you have more value. When you have value, they give you the job, you get the money, right? So it's not just I want money and you get the money. No, what are you bringing in exchange of money? So these are important things that you need to put in mind as a student. So I need you guys to respond before we proceed. We are at the final lap of our session. So please drop a comment before I continue. Only few people filled our pretest. Anyways, no problem. You don't need to fill the pretest again. This is fine. All right, I need your responses so I can continue. Kindly respond. Kindly respond so that we can continue. Are we together? If you have questions, you can start dropping it. So I hope I've done a very good justice to this topic today. We've spoken about our future. We've spoken about how we can align our finances to help us bring our future and vision to life, right? So thank you so much for participating. Just respond. Okay, you are ready. Somebody is ready to invest. I love this. I love this. I love this response. All right, so let's move on to the final part of our session today, right? So as a student, you need to invest. Yes, everybody needs to invest. But the thing about being a student is your kind of investment differs. It differs critically, right? You need to invest internally before externally. A lot of us do not trust ourselves, but we trust other people. If you don't trust yourself, it means other people will not trust you. So you need to trust yourself first by investing in your own self, because an investment in knowledge pays the biggest interest. Imagine something happen, maybe your certificate born or whatever. What will you use to make more money? So when you invest in yourself, you have better skill sets. You can always make back money. You can always stand up again. If you fall, you can always stand up 10 times. You get my point, right? So as a student, the kind of investment you want to do is inwards. You need to invest in your mindset. You need to read books, read a lot of books. I didn't read book. Oh, hey, I wish I read. Everything I was reading was academic, but you now you can read beyond that, right? So read books that will shape your mindset, that will shape your habit. For instance, Atomic Habit is a very good book. It will teach you how to stack habits, make your tasks easier, right? Invest in building a brand, know yourself, right? Enjoy, attend webinars and events that will teach you about personal branding and stuff. For instance, I am now money woman. I did not even know that I will get this title, but somehow I'm money woman, right? Why? Because what comes to their mind when they think about AFSAT? Oh, personal finance. That is the brand. Invest in your network, right? If you want to learn things, it's your friends that will, for instance, maybe some of you is your friend that invited you to attend to this webinar. That is your network, right? They are the one that will send opportunities your way. Invest in your earning capacity. If you know how to do something, people will pay you. For instance, my graphic designer, it was through an event like this that I came across him. I love the design that he did. And then I reach out to him and tell him, you know what, do a design for me. And I paid him. So you see, he invested in, he learned a skill, and that skill now is paying him. So invest in your earning capacity. That one can give you more money. It's not just shares. Shares will not double your money right now. That is not your priority as a student, right? If you are stable, oh, you can start doing that. But you and Warren Buffett are not the same thing. Oh. He come from a very stable family. That is why they started investing for him early. So find your stability first, then you can now resume those kind of investment, right? The sooner you are stable, the sooner you can start. So for instance, if you put all of these structures in place early, immediately you get your first good job, you can start investing. But if you are not stable, if you have a very good financial habit, you see that you are in the middle level of your career, you have not even started investing. So the sooner you get things, the foundation good, solid, the sooner you can start investing properly, right? So when you grow your income and build stability, you have the capacity to invest more for the long term, right? So like I said earlier, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. This was written by Benjamin Franklin, and he saw the future when he wrote that, made that statement, right? But but that does not mean you cannot invest in asset as well. So some of these assets, you can use them for your short-term savings. So instead of saving in a bank, you can use this investment to save for the short term. I hope you understand that explanation, right? So for instance, money market assets are short-term securities, right? So you can use short-term securities to achieve your short-term savings goal. So some of these options are like, for instance, savings platform like Piggyvest, Carrywise. They are very good for your short-term investment or savings. Fixed deposit, for instance, let's say you have 500,000 that you don't want to touch till your level 4. You can put it there, right? Or treasury bill or commercial paper. But one thing I would recommend for you guys is to read first. Know the right investment for you. And that is why I wrote this book around November last year, is Halal Investing. I hope you guys can see my screen very well. So this is Halal Investing for Muslim and ethical investor. But one thing I want you to know, it's not just for Muslims, right? I did it that way because I wanted a certain audience to also be included, right? But doesn't mean you cannot read it as well. So this book, about 4 chapters is about investment basics. About 4 chapters, 4 out of like 7 chapters is about investment basics. So when you read this, you will understand all these investment opportunities that you're seeing online. I broke everything down, very simple. And right now, for every student, is currently on a 50% discount. So instead of 5,000, you can get it for like 2,500, right? So this is something that if you're interested, you can get it. I'm going to share the link after the session. You can get it, read it, know more about investment before you now start investing. So for those of you that are very eager to invest, at least look road before you invest, right? So you can check the book out. Hopefully it's going to be like relevant for you as well. So just to repeat again, invest in yourself first before you invest in assets. But while saving, you can use digital tool and this investment product to achieve your savings and investment needs. So this is going to be My closing question for you guys today: what would be one goal that you're focusing on in 2026 as a student? What is one goal? We spoke about our 10-year goal, right? Now, what of the first? This is year one out of the 10 years. What will you focus on this year in order for you to start becoming that person you need to become in the future? So please, I want you guys to respond to this question in the comment. What goal will you be focusing on in 2026? What goals will you be focusing on? Oh yeah, you guys should drop the answer. You see, I told you guys we'll finish around 6:15. We have 2 more minutes. So please drop the answer for me in the comment section. Because that goal, another way that you can achieve those goals while balancing your studies is, first of all, maximize your break. Use your holidays to do something that will take you towards your goal. Explore monetizable hobbies. Maybe you like reading, maybe you like editing, maybe you like designing. They can be monetized. Start building your portfolio now. Your current resources, find a way to manage it so that you can do the trainings that you need to do or the things that will help you make more money. Also, build transferable skills activities. So, for instance, when you want to start looking for a job, they will interview you. They'll tell you, have you led a team? Have you done this? Have you done that? It is in leadership, a student association that you learn all of those skills. So, it's a student association. So that when they are asking you question, you should have answer. You tell them, oh, I used to be the one to set up meetings. I used to be the one to coordinate trainings. You get. If you don't have the experience, you'll not be able to lie very well. So make sure that's where you learn all this public speaking, or you learn presentation, so many things, right? So make sure you engage. Don't pass through school. School should not pass through you. You all look for opportunities like scholarship and grants that will help you, right? So for instance, there are every Monday I used to receive a list of opportunities from, I think, Sisterly HQ. I don't know if you've heard of that website. You should be following them, subscribe to them. There's Opportunity Deck, subscribe to them. Those are the pages you should be following on Instagram, on TikTok, so that whenever there's opportunities, you go for them, right? Internship, you go for them. All right, so I see some of you have responded to the question. You want to become proficient at graphic. That is brilliant. This is achievable within 1 year. Within 6 months, if it is achievable, right? You want to build a clear brand. Now, it is not very easy for you to build a clear brand, but you must start something. For instance, MoneyChat did not become a brand till, let's say, like 1 year or 2 years. You need to start. You become known for something when there is an evidence. So your focus is to build evidence. If you want to become a writer, have 20 articles before December. When you have like 20 articles, then you cannot say, oh, I'm a writer. Yes, I've written this. You see? It's evidence that makes you become that person. It's evidence that is true. When I say I'm an educator, I've done this training like 50 times. So there is proof that I'm an educator, right? So if your personal brand is, oh, I help students do this. Have you done it before? How many times have you done it? Then it will become a brand. It will become an identity for you, right? So I hope this gives you clarity, Adesonia. So this brings us to the end of today's session. If you have a question, please drop it. We have a few more minutes. If you have a question, please drop it, right? So at the end of this session, I'm going to send you a link to join our community. For those that are interested in joining the community, please join our student community so that whenever we have events like this, you don't need to register again. I'll just send you the link, you attend, right? You're going to do a post test now. I'll send the link shortly. I don't know if Nima is still on this call. If she's on this call, she should send the link. I'll share it shortly. Follow us on socials, Money Chat with Afsat. I started doing a series recently. A lot of people enjoy that series. So you should watch that series. The series is about leaving your comfort zone, right? So as a student, it's going to be very helpful for you. Join it. And there is a project I'm currently working on, especially for female students. So I'm going to be doing a training specifically for students, right? So if you want to know when the training starts for female students in the North, if you want to know when this training starts, make sure you join our community so that you do not miss it, right? And then just so you know, you can watch the replay of this video. It's going to be available on YouTube. I will send the link later so you can watch this event again. You can share it with your friends and tell them to join the community. So one thing you should know is start small, but start now, right? No matter how small, start now, right? Even if it's 2,000, you can start saving with, or 10,000, just start now. Before you know, you're going to get to where you need to go to. So I had a lot of people fill the pre-test. So now I want you to do the post-test. The post-test is not even it's not a test, it's a survey basically. It's just your feedback from today's session because we did put in a lot, myself and my program coordinator, we put in a lot to prepare this session. So I just want your feedback. And I'm also planning to do a course for students. So you can see this is a bit fast because it's online. I want to do a full-blown course, financial literacy and entrepreneurship course, so that immediately after each session, there is things for you to do, like assignments that you can go back to do it. You get a certificate at the end of the course, like a module, the same way you have maybe element of bookkeeping or entrepreneurship or English in school. You should also have this course, right? So even though they don't teach you in school, you come to Money Chat to come and take this training. You get certified, you become financially literate and financially competent, right? So if you are filling the survey, let me know if it's something that you like, if you would like to join it, you would like to register for the training. You might not be the one to pay it. Maybe your father will pay it for you, your sister, somebody will pay it for you, right? So I want to know if you're interested in it so that once the course is live, you will know and take the course, right? So I see your thank yous. Thank you so much for being on this session. If you have a question, you can reply to the email I sent earlier. You can just reply to the email. I'm going to reply your question, right? So please fill the post survey form. It's only one response I've gotten so far. All of you that did the pre-survey that wait to the end of this session, thank you so much. Please make sure you fill the post survey form. Make sure you fill the post survey form. So I'm going to send you the recording immediately this call end. I'll send you the recording. I'll send you the form. Thank you so much for joining this call. And if you have a question, you can send it in the group chat. Yes, I'll also send you the link to join the community. Yes. So if you have question, you join it, you drop it in the community once you join. So thank you.